Jersey Motorsports Park for the finale of the weekend for the Ligier JS F4 Championship. I'm John Phippen, so happy to be here in the commentary booth, joined by Daniel Quimby next to me.
Yep,
Daniel,
going, guys.
Let's introduce the starters as we've got just a little bit of time before they head around to get the standing start underway. Low running outside of row number 6 is the number 27 of Rafael Wolish. Rafael from Rutherford, New Jersey for Scuderia Buell. Next to him is the number 2 car of Ethan Sterling, making his debut this weekend, a 17-year-old out of Canton, Ohio for Jensen. Moving forward to row 5 on the outside, his teammate, car number 1, Jake Pollock from San Antonio, Texas, also for the Jensen team. Next to him, car number 6, Maite Cáceres from Punta del Este, Uruguay for International Motorsports. Alongside her, on the outside of row 4 is the 83 of Christopher Parrish from Terrell, Texas for IGY Motorsports. Alongside Christopher, Bacon Zelenka in car number 45. He races out of Lyons, Illinois for Crosslink Kiwi. In row 3 on the outside is car 5, Dimitri Nolan from Fairview, Texas for Crosslink Kiwi. Next to Dimitri is car number 25, Teddy Musella, who up until this race this morning was the points leader. Teddy out of Orlando, Florida for Scuderia Buell. He's now second in the points. In row 2 on the outside, car 23, Harbir Das, coming off his first podium finish of the season for Berg DMG Racing. His home is in Solon, Ohio. Next to him is car 28, Drew Such. Drew out of St. Charles, Illinois for Such Racing. Then we've got the front 2 drivers. On the outside of row 1 is car 29. That's Kekai Hauanio, the new points leader for Crosslink Kiwi Motorsports, sponsored by Anywhere Transport and Newt Racing, and your pole sitter. And now back-to-back winner this weekend, car number 95, Brad Madgman, the 15-year-old from Melbourne, Australia, for Crosslink Kiwi Motorsports. Daniel, a diverse field of drivers making their way onto the front straightaway here as they're going to line up for the Formula One style standing start. This new Ligier JS F4 Series for the first generation F4 car. We introduced the new car which you race in the F4 Championship.
Yep.
But we introduced the new car this year, and this is the opportunity for the old cars to have a little more life and also give drivers as young as 14 an opportunity to go racing.
Yeah, I think it's a good series when you're stepping out of go-karts, coming into cars like Brad Madgman. I used to race him in go-karts, and now he's stepping up into this class, and he's dominating pretty well this weekend.
Yeah, back-to-back wins, so good for Brad. Let's see how it's going to shake out as we get ready for the start. The revs come up, we wait for the lights to go out, everybody gets away cleanly, and Brad Madgman gets a good jump. And right behind him is Kekai Hauanio, who just took over the points lead from Teddy Musella after his second-place finish. As they bend it through turn number 1, Drew Such slots up into 3rd spot. Harbor Das up into 4th. So great start for Harbor after making his first podium finish of the year in race number 11. Just concluded, but kind of a replay of what we saw earlier today as Brad Madgman and Kekai Hauanio getting a good jump at the front. Side-by-side racing with Christopher Parrish and Bacon Zelenka a little deeper in the pack. They're back in 7th and 8th position. But the battle at the front, and going wide is Drew Such. He dropped a couple wheels off, but it looks like it's not going to cost him a position yet. But Harbir Das is right there to pounce as they come up down toward turn number 6. Harbir on the outside. Such still trying to get the dust off his tires, and Harbir looks like he's going to get the job done. Also just behind them, Teddy Musella in motion. He and Dimitri Nolan going side by side. As we're working our way through turns 7, 8, and 9, that long decreasing radius turn, it looks like Christopher Parrish might have dropped a wheel off at the outside. I'm not sure. We'll sort that as they come back our way. But meanwhile, the lead battle, as it's been all weekend long between these two drivers, Kekai Hauanio and Brad Madgman. Madgman with the advantage from Melbourne, Australia. Daniel, of course, hailing from down under as well. So you know Brad well. You used to race go-karts. Now Kekai goes down to the inside, and he's going to go for the lead, and looks like he's gotten it done. But can Brad do the over-under and get back under him? Nope, he's going to fall in single file. So Hauanio takes over the top spot. Such with another wheel dropping off there at the exit of turn 1. So Drew Such having a little trouble, and that's going to cost him a position. Teddy Musella gets around Drew as they work their way through the chicane, heading down toward turn number 4. That's just sort of a right-hand kink, and then a hard braking zone down into turn number 5. Hauanio at the point with Madgman right behind him. Everybody's still getting these hot-cooked slicks up to temperature. Harbier Das hanging on to the 3rd spot. Then Teddy Musella now up into 4th position. Drew Such has got company as, once again, Maite Cáceres making a dynamite start. She started back in row 5, and now she's up challenging Drew Such for that 5th position. Maite goes to the inside. She's going to try to make that pass stick, and looks like she's gotten the job done. So good on Maite as she closes in on 4th position here. So Maite Cáceres making a dynamite start here. Let's see if she can work her way a little forward. She's been on the podium a couple times this year, 4 times already, with a 2nd and 3 third-place finishes. But this weekend hasn't been particularly good to her. She's got an 8th and a 10th place finish so far this year, or this weekend, should I say. But back at the front, we've got Hauanio, and he's already having to be a little defensive right down the middle of the racetrack. This Brad Madgman. As Kekai's car getting a little squirrely under braking as he left the braking just as late as he could. And Harbier Das right on his tail. We've got a good 3-way breakaway here at the front of this field. Daniel, have you had any seat time in this first generation F4 car?
Yeah, we did the first round at NOLA. It's a really good car to drive. Like, yeah, obviously really good to come out of karts into this car. It's like, it's not too fast. It's got a bit of grip, but they're, yeah, pretty tricky to drive. But yeah, you can see Kekai and Brad going at it. But I think if Kekai keeps blocking, he's going to draw the whole field into this one.
Exactly right, and might draw the ire of our race director Scott Goodyear as well, as he does not look kindly onto that blocking maneuver. He says, "Yeah, you can use your mirrors to see where your competitors are. You can't use your mirrors to block."
Yeah.
That's one of his mantras.
Yeah.
But right now, Kekai has the advantage. This final race of the weekend is always kind of the equalizer because everybody tries different tire strategies, and when you finally get to the last race of the weekend, everybody's kind of on a level playing field. You've played all your cards, and now it's going to see who's got the most tire under him to get through this final race.
Yeah, and I think winning this last race is pretty good. You go home with a pretty good mindset coming out of the round with a race win. It's always good. Yeah.
Absolutely. As they come across the line, single file for the top 4 drivers now. As Kekai staying on the racing line, not having to block too badly, but Harbier Das looks in his mirrors, and it is full of Teddy Musella. Teddy Musella is going to have a little added incentive here as he finished back in 5th after a kind of a mid-race spin in the round 2 earlier today. And he was the points leader up until this most recent round as Kekai was able to take over the points lead, but there's only a 1.5 points separating those two. So we still got lots of racing left to go. This last race today, and of course we round out the season down at Circuit of the Americas in late October, and there goes Teddy Musella around Harbier Das, and he's up into 3rd spot. So Musella making his way forward. Now let's see if he can mix it up with the top 2, as Hauanio and Madgman have been battling for the front of this field all weekend long. Madgman finally breaking through with his first win on the season in round 10, and then backed it up with another win in round 11 earlier today.
Yeah, it's looking better from Teddy now. The whole weekend it looks like he's been struggling a lot, but yeah, it looks like he's got a bit of pace under that car this last race. Yeah,
we'll see how it all sorts out, as again, still very early days. As you can see, nearly 25 minutes of the 30 minutes remaining, so this race is just getting started. We've got lots of evolution to come, and again, it's the final race of the weekend. The tires getting a little tired, for want of a better term, and so you're going to see the handling on these cars evolve a little bit as the race wears on. And if some of these drivers take a little too much out of the tire in the early going, they're not going to have rubber under them at the end of the race. So they've got to sort of gauge their opportunities. The nice thing about these first generation cars is they are really easy to race close behind one another, but the new generation car is also very raceable. The last race we had was kind of unusual, Daniel, as we're used to seeing the races in the F4 Championship being just like this, tight battles. For whatever reason, race number 2 this weekend was a kind of a spread out affair.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I know we had obviously a bad race that first race, so we wanted to try to get through the field as fast as possible, so we used an old tire. So I think hopefully with this new tire going on race 3, we should just pull me, Alex and Nick closer for a good race that last one.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
That'll be the last race of the day, coming up at 4:25 this afternoon Eastern Time. For those of you joining us on the stream, thanks so much for being here. We'd like to thank the folks at Live Race Media for providing these pictures for us as we continue our commitment to try to stream all of our races, even if we're not alongside the Trans Am Series with Pirella Motorsports Holdings, the umbrella company for all of our racing here in this series. Brad Matchman looking a little impatient as Brad was looking to see if he can find his way back to the front. The first race of the weekend was very similar to this one. The two of them going like this until Kekai made just a little bit of a mistake, and Brad got through on him and was able to take it onto the win earlier yesterday and then again earlier today. So let's see if Brad can sweep the weekend here with 3 consecutive victories.
Yeah, it looks like Kekai's starting to pull away. But I don't know if Brad's playing that game, was trying to save that tyre for the end, so you never know.
I would not be surprised. Brad is one of the youngest drivers, if not the youngest driver in the field. We've got 2 15-year-olds in this field. Teddy Musella is actually, a few hundred days younger than Brad Matchman, but they're both 15-year-olds, and they show maturity beyond their years. Brad has really impressed me, at the early part of the season. He was making some mistakes and learning from them, and he has really solidified into a really formidable racer. And as you know, racing against him in go-karts, the kid has got tremendous natural talent, and he just needs to get his mind right, and I think he's getting to that point. That maturity is beginning to show. Yeah,
I think that just comes with age and more seat time in the car. Obviously, I know when I first started, I made a lot of mistakes and stuff that would hurt my race, but now you get a bit older, a bit more seat time, you're a bit more relaxed in the car, know what you're doing, and it just helps. I think comes with age, you mature a lot more.
Another driver that's really impressed me this weekend is Harbier Das in that number 23 car. Harbier from Solon, Ohio for Berg DMG Racing. He's got a good team under him. Alex Berg, of course, raced with us for a number of years. He's now racing in the British F4 Championship. His dad is a Formula One driver, Francois Durand, part of that troika that put this team together for this season. And Harbier has really shown me some stuff this weekend as he's really doing a good job. So let's see if he can get back around Teddy and make it another podium for him before this weekend is out. But he's sticking right there with him. Hauanio with, I would call that about a 2-car length lead. It closes under a bit under braking as they enter turn 7. This turn gets slower and slower as the radius gets tighter and tighter. You can see on the camera the car just seems to almost come to a stop as you really have to fight that tightening turn, and then the quick transition back to the left for that 180-degree turn 10, and then this blast down under the bridge onto the front straightaway.
Yeah, I definitely think that part of the racetrack is probably one of the hardest on the racetrack. I think that corner's no braking markers. You're kind of going there blind. Yeah, it's a challenge.
Yeah, exactly right. That's what we like. Challenges are all good. That's what makes you better as a racing driver. And Kekai hits the curb a little to the inside, unsettling the car. That's going to open the door for Brad just a bit. Teddy Musella is about 2 seconds behind this battle, and Harbier Das about a half a second behind him. There's the battle for 3rd and 4th that we've been talking about. It's Harbier Das coming of age. Teddy has had lots of success this season. He's got 3 wins, 5 other podiums. He's got a perfect record of 11 points-paying finishes, so he's not made many mistakes. And this is a track that can punish those mistakes, especially with the new repave. It's pretty easy to drop a wheel over one of these curbs and you'll find yourself losing a half a dozen places.
Yeah, it's tricky. I don't know, it's weird. You think the new track, the new surface would help the tyre with more grip. Obviously it has, but it's just, you drop that one wheel and it seems like grass just sends you off a lot, and it's really slippery for some reason. Yeah,
we've talked to a lot of drivers having issues at the chicane there at turn number 3. It's very easy to kick up a little dirt, and that makes it a real problem for the driver following because all of a sudden you don't have any grip with the dirt on the racetrack.
Yeah, I haven't had that problem yet, but you see it a lot. People trying to get as much track as they can to open up that chicane. Obviously hurts the driver from behind, getting all that dirt onto the tires and into the car.
There goes Brad thinking about a move. Just showed a little bit of a dummy to Kekai, but wasn't close enough to pull the trigger. Just letting him know that he's there, trying to force him into a mistake. These two are good friends. They have become good friends. They race on the same team, so they know each other's tendencies, I think, pretty well. They've established quite a reputation racing together here. So I think Brad may be playing a little mind game here, trying to get Kekai to make a mistake.
And it's unusual for Kekai. He's made a couple of mistakes the last 2 races, but I think this one, he really wants to try put his foot down and try win this one. It's
trying to stretch that points advantage. His closest pursuer, as we mentioned, Teddy Musella, currently running in 3rd, is only 1.5 points behind him. So if he can maintain the situation where he is right now, he can make that a little more comfortable as we head toward our final round of racing down at COTA in a couple months' time.
Yeah.
Brad is not going away. They are staying right together as they work their way through turn 10, out of 10, and then into this little section of the track they call the snake. It doesn't snake much. It's pretty much a straight line. You can straight line that little chicane. And then on to turn 12, and it sounds like we are going to bring out the safety car. One of the Jensen cars is off, it looks like. And I think that may be Sterling. We'll double check it.
That's in deep.
Yeah, no kidding. Got all the way to the tire barrier, not able to get the car restarted, obviously. Doesn't look like the car is buried in the tires, so we'll make sure it's either Jake Pollock or Ethan Sterling. Ethan on debut this weekend, making his first start with the series, as this will slow the pace down and pack the field back up. I'll tell you, the guy who's liking this is Teddy Musella, because now he's going to be right on the tail of Brad Matchman and have an opportunity perhaps to get around him and have something to say about the top spot on the podium here. So let's do a quick field rundown as the field is coming together behind the safety car. It is Kekai Hauanio as your leader, as he started in second position. A couple laps into the race, was finally able to pull the trigger and make the pass for the lead, where he's stayed since. Brad Matchman, his teammate, the winner of the last two rounds, started on the pole, running in second. Teddy Musella, who started in fifth, has made up 2 spots, now into the podium places in the third position. Harbir Das started fourth. That's right where he runs now in the number 23 car for Berg DMG. Maite Cáceres, a very impressive move. She started all the way back inside of row 5. She's up to 5th position now. So Maite also going to be happy to see this safety car that allows her to have a chance to perhaps move up a little further. Drew Such just behind her. In the number 28 car in the orange liveried machine. Drew started in third. He's kind of gone the wrong direction, as we saw in the first couple of laps. He had a couple situations where he ran wide and cost him some positions. Bacon Zelenka right behind him in the 45 car. Bacon started 7th, running 7th right now. Dimitri Nolan in the number 5 started 6th. He's dropped a couple spots, running back in 8th position. Jake Pollock, the first of the 2 Jensen cars in the field. Jake in the number 1, started 10th, running in 9th. Christopher Parrish in the number 83, started in 8th position. He's dropped a couple, back in 10th for IGY6. Rafael Wolish, the last of the cars, running in the number 27. He started shotgun on the field, so he's picked up 1 spot. And the car off at turn 2 is Ethan Sterling in the number 2. Again, this is Ethan's first race weekend with us, as he stepped into the second seat at Jensen. The 17-year-old youngster from Canton, Ohio. That's up near Cleveland. And he started racing very late, as we already got the car on the hook, as you can see. Tip of the hat to the safety crew here at New Jersey Motorsports Park, as we've got multiple classes of racing, not only our 3 classes, but multiple courses of racing in this New Jersey Motorsports Park weekend for the SpeedTour, the New Jersey Lottery SpeedTour. And they've had plenty of work to do, as we've had plenty of cars off and into the tire barrier or whatever, and they've done a fantastic job. So tip of the hat to the recovery crew here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. They've done a fantastic job. We have been very fortunate. This is only our second safety car period in a race this weekend. So, and the first one was a very short one. It only lasted for 1 lap. And when it was for this same class of cars, when Christopher Parrish spun and got the car high center, but he was able to get it refired. And by the time the safety car had picked up the field, he was back underway, so it only lasted for 1 lap. So this is the first one for an incident that we've had, and that's what we love to see. We like to see green flag racing. We don't like to see the cars falling around behind the safety car. Yeah,
I think when it comes to Teddy, I think he's loving this safety car. But we always like to see that, green flag, no one's hurt, no one's crashing the cars and stuff like that.
Exactly right. But it looks like this is going to be a relatively short one. As like I said, the last shot we had of the recovery of Ethan Sterling's car, they already had it on the hook, and they'll get it behind the barrier here. I have not heard officially from race control, but I would expect we might go green next time by. Daniel, tell us a little bit about your history. Obviously, you were a karter in your native Australia. Tell us about what brought you to this country. How did you get hooked up with Atlantic and get into car racing?
We started in Australia racing go-karts. We did the Australian Championship, I think, for three or 4 years. Obviously, built my experience, and stuff in a go-kart just helps you, I think, step up into a race car. Coming into this, you know the basics of brake, roll, accelerate, stuff like that. We started last year with Doran.
Uh-huh.
We did the last round at Coda. We did really great team.
Yep.
But I think we just had to part ways because, reasons. But yeah, we just had to. We found Atlantic. We really liked him. Lucas, my mechanic, is my engineer. Is top of the range, and trying to get this car fired up for the race 3.
Exactly. And a great mustache he's got too.
Yeah. Ingo, he's pretty impressive mustache.
Yeah. No question about it. As a man with facial hair myself, I can appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's great stuff. Yeah, we just got confirmation from race control. We are going green this time by, as again, tip of the hat to the safety crew here at New Jersey for doing a great job recovering that. The safety car will peel off into the pit lane, turn the field over to our leader, Kekai Hauanio, and he is required to maintain safety car pace until he reaches the bridge, and that's where he can drop the hammer and we can begin to accelerate. However, a driver may not complete a pass or initiate a pass until they reach start finish, so they'll have to stay single file until they get to the start finish line or risk a penalty. So here we come under the bridge, as we've still got plenty of racing, just barely into the second half of this, with about 12 minutes, a little less, remaining in the race. And here we go. The green flag flies. Everybody doing a good job, staying single file. Now they fan out 2 and 3 wide, a little deeper in the pack. And there goes Maite Cáceres, as she's going to try to make a move on Harbor Das. Down to the inside goes Maite, but she thinks better of it, and they both go off. Maite goes wide, Harbor spinning it into the grass. Let's see if he can get restarted. Looks like he's going to be able to. Throwing up a cloud of dust, but he's kept the engine running. That's a great sign, so it looks like we'll be able to continue here, as 2 into 1 sometimes doesn't go. That turn 1 has been reprofiled this year, and I've talked to a number of drivers who said it really is so much faster that it makes it more difficult. With the old track configuration, you can get side by side and complete a pass there turn 1. With this configuration, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't drive the old track, but I can definitely see there's a lot of bumps through turn 1, and that definitely unsettles that car. And once you get out of control, it's really hard to catch it.
Jake Pollock having a nice little battle with Dimitri Nolan just in front of him, as we're getting back up to speed here. But Hauanio maintaining the lead. Actually, I stand corrected. Kekai's back to 3rd. I'm sorry, I missed looked at as both Teddy Musella and Brad Madgman got around our leader. So Kekai Hauanio finds himself now in 3rd position. Looking at the tail end of that red number 25 of Teddy Musella from Scuderia Buell. Here they come across the line, and that's the battle we're watching. Teddy being as defensive as he can down to the inside. Kekai thinking about going around the outside. Oh, trouble for Maite. And it may have been that little spin, half spin that she had when she got together there at turn 1. Yeah,
that's probably the bad thing about Formula Racing. Once you have a touch or a rub with someone, normally you're going to have some damage on the front wing or a suspension arm, something like that's always going to break.
If nothing else, getting off in the grass, you get grass clippings in the radiators, and these engines will overheat in a heartbeat if those radiators get blocked. So I'm not sure what the issue might be, but Maite doing a good job of putting the car in a place where they can get it behind the barrier without bringing out the safety car again. So fingers crossed that we'll be able to stay green here. Again, I'm thinking that's a byproduct of the fact that she and Harbor had that little coming together at turn 1.
Yeah.
So Brad Madgman looking to sweep the weekend here. There's a spin from Bacon Zelenka as he goes around at turn 7. But again, looks like he's kept it running, and he's going to be able to rejoin. Kicks up a nice cloud of dust for the following drivers as he comes back onto the track right alongside Harbor Das, I believe that was, but we'll turn our attention back toward the front as Brad Madgman comes to the line to complete race lap number 14 with a lead of about a second, almost exactly a second, back to Teddy Musella. Kekai looking impatient here. He's probably a little angry with himself for letting those two guys get by him on the restart. Drew Such, also resurgent. Remember, he had a little wiggle earlier on that cost him several places. Now he's coming back up into 4th. In fact, he just set his personal best with a 122.2, and he's only 0.8 at the line behind Kekai. So we'll see if Such can make that happen, but here's the battle for 2nd and 3rd. Teddy Musella in the red Scuderia Buell machine. Right behind him, Kekai Hauanio, the new points leader. Teddy, I'm sure, needs to stay there and see if he can retake that points lead, and that's exactly what he wants. No matter what happens at the front, he wants to keep Kekai behind him. so he can perhaps have the points lead leaving here. Like you say, that's great psychologically. You look forward. They've got a pretty long layoff between now and the end of October for the final race, and it's an opportunity to leave here feeling good about yourself. Yeah,
100%. I think, just having that mental game is a really big part of racing. Like, being mentally confident is, going to help you driving, I'm pretty sure.
I asked Brad this question, of course, coming from Australia. Are you able to fly back between race meetings, or do you spend more time here than you do back in your
so we're lucky. We're sponsored by Fiji Airways. They're really great over there, so we get really good flights and stuff like that. But we're flying back and forth from every round. It's tough with the jet lag and that, but I do anything to race here. It's really good.
I hear you. This is turning into a pretty good three-way battle here. Teddy Musella, Kekai Hauanio, Drew Such, not that far behind. Yes. Again, we're in that stage, the later stages of the race here. That little brief safety car period gives the tires a chance to cool down, put a heat cycle on them. Does that really change the way the tires handle for the rest of the race? Has that been your experience?
I think if you can keep them in the window, I think they can perform really well. But if you let them get too cold, it puts obviously that another heat cycle through it, and every heat cycle on these tires really kill them. So you want to try to keep them up to temp, and obviously Brad's done a pretty good job of that because he's gotten away and pulled that lead out.
Tough day for the Jensen team as the second of their cars now out of the race, it looks like, as Jake Pollock into the pit lane, as the crew having a look. And the wheels coming off, and that usually indicates that he's about to unbuckle and climb out. So sadly, a terminal problem for Jake Pollock. And so both he and Ethan Sterling not going to get to the finish of this one. Let's watch this battle for second right now. As you can see Teddy, his head's on a swivel, checking the mirrors on both sides. He knows Kekai is there. And he just wants to do what he needs to do to keep him behind him. Kekai doing just the opposite, as he can see Brad getting away at the front. As there's a dejected Jake Pollock unable to get to the finish here. Matchman getting away at the front with about 5.5 minutes to go. This is the battle for the middle and final step on the podium. Of course, Drew Such back there to pick up the pieces. If those two come together, he'll be there to take over their positions. It's the top four with a little distance between themselves and Dimitri Nolan in fifth. Dimitri did set his personal best on the last lap, but he's about 4.5 seconds behind this battle that we're watching on camera. All four of the top four in the same camera shot. That's exactly what we love to see, rather than somebody disappearing into the sunset like we saw in your race earlier.
I think these cars, they bring a lot of really close racing. The toe is normally pretty strong, so it keeps them more close, but I think, like Brad's done, he's broken that toe and can really push hard and try to drive away. Yeah,
just hit his marks. Like you said, he's running by himself. He can just hit his marks and not worry too much about the pressure from behind, realizing that Teddy's concentrating on the guy behind him, not so much looking ahead. So Kekai obviously just trying to make it another 1-2 for the team. Kekai's car looking pretty planted. At one stage earlier in the weekend, his car seemed a little fidgety, a little squirrely. He was really having to put a lot of steering input into it, but right now the car's looking pretty stable. Bacon Zelenka going side by side with the 27 car of Rafael Wolish. Right behind him, there's the 23 of Harbier Doss, who had that spin at turn 1, where he and Maite got together over the same piece of track real estate. Musella doing exactly what he wanted to do, get in front of Kekai and stay there and see if he can recapture the points lead here. I think as long as Brad takes care of his car for this final 3.5 minutes, he's got a sweep of the weekend in the books, and that's going to be a big boost in the arm for him as well. He'll have a long layoff between this race and the next one, so he'll go home to Australia feeling pretty good about himself. Attention in the paddock, if you would. Attention in the paddock. This is first call for SVRA Groups 9 and 11. Groups 9 and 11 to the grid, please. Groups 9 and 11 to the grid, please. Back to this battle for second.
Yeah, looks
Hauanio's got the job done. As I was making that grid call, Kekai found a way past.
Yeah, it looked like they had a bit of a rubbing wheels. Yeah, but Teddy just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to go away. Doesn't want to let that points lead get away from him.
Yeah, I think they both realize what's at stake here, and he wants very badly to get back around him. And he's going to have about 2 laps to get it done. We'll see how the time works out, but we may see the white flag next time by, or maybe 2 more laps, depending on how they catch the lights. Timing and scoring keeps a close eye on it, and as soon as we're under about 1 minute and 20 seconds or so, that's when we'll see the white flag the next time by, so we're definitely not going to see it this time. As they make their way under the bridge, Kekai getting away just a little bit. Brad Madgman comfortably out in front now. Last time it was about a 2-second advantage, and it's almost up to 3 now. As you said, Kekai and Teddy getting together, or certainly close racing side by side. Here's Christopher Parrish and Harbor Doss going after it. That's for 6th and 7th position. We go back to this battle for second. Drew Such there in the background in the orange number 28. And there's Chris Parrish with Harbor Doss, and then Bacon Zelenka going side by side with Rafael Wallisch. That's the battle for 8th and 9th. Wallisch taking over that position, but Bacon looking to try to take it back as Parrish and Doss continue their battle.
Unusual for Bacon. He's normally pretty fast.
Exactly, yeah. He's up. He's 3rd in the points right now. In fact, he started out the season with a pair of wins, 3 other podium finishes, but his last 4 races, he's been off the podium. He's had a 4th, a 10th, a 7th, and a 9th. So it's kind of fallen apart for Bacon here late in the season, as he looked to be a real championship contender, but he's now 36 points behind Teddy. And that's going to be tough to make up. Certainly not impossible. That's going to be tough to make up. But he'll have to have a really good weekend at COTA if that's going to be the case. The white flag in the air for Brad Madgman. 1 more lap. And Kekai seems to have broken the challenge from Teddy Musella, it appears. As we'll see if Teddy's got anything up his sleeve for this final lap. But this is going to allow, if it finishes this way, it's going to allow Kekai to extend his points lead ever so slightly. There's 18 points for second, 15 for third, so it'll go from 1.5 points to 4.5 points as they make ready for the final 3 races of the season at COTA in late October. Kekai just needs to hit his marks, not make any mistakes, don't open the door for Teddy, as I don't think Teddy has got the pace at this late stage to mount a challenge as they're into this long decreasing radius sequence of turns, 7, 8, and 9 for the final time at speed. As Brad Madgman sweeping the weekend. It has been a while since we've had a driver win all 3 races. Certainly not this season. No one has done it this season. So this will be the first time in any of our 3 series that we've had a single driver win all 3 races on a weekend, and Brad is going to get it done here.
I think if it's going to be anyone, I reckon it's going to be Brad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, after you win the first one, it starts getting easier, I think, just mentally.
Yeah.
And there it is. Brad Madgman taking the victory. Kekai Hauanio preserves his lead at the top of the points table. Teddy Musella comes home in 3rd. Drew Such in the 4th spot. And then right behind him, Dimitri Nolan. A good job keeping his nose clean as others were having problems around him. And then there's a big gap back to Christopher Parrish. Still waiting on him to come to the stripe. And I think Harbir Das got around Chris on the last lap, and he did. Harbir Das up into 6th. Christopher Parrish going to finish in 7th. There's the 8th place finisher, Rafael Wallisch. I believe that's his best finish of the season. I'll just check my notes here real quickly. But yes, that is Rafael's best finish of the year. Bacon Zelenka finishing in 9th. Maite Cáceres unfortunately not making it to the end. Jake Pollock and Ethan Sterling also dropping out. I've got to head down and talk to the podium. Daniel, thank you. Great job. Appreciate having you in the booth.
Thanks, mate.
And good luck for your final race this afternoon.
Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you then.
The Summit Point Speed Tour returns to Summit Point August 16th through the 18th, featuring the Sports Car Vintage Racing Association, Formula Race Promotions, and Optima's search for the ultimate street car. Saturday, you can take part in the Haggerty Cars and Caffeine Car Show with Parade Lab. You do not want to miss the Summit Point Speed Tour August 16th through the 18th. Advanced ticket discounts available. Children 12 and under are free. For tickets, simply go to speedtour.net. The Mission Foods Watkins Glen Speed Tour returns to Watkins Glen International August 23rd through the 25th, featuring the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli, the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series, the Ligier U.S. Vintage Grand Prix with the Sports Car Vintage Racing Association, International GT, Prototype Sprint Series Association. You do not want to miss the Mission Foods Watkins Glen Speed Tour August 23rd through the 25th. For tickets, simply go to speedtour.net.
Watch is the last thing. Pin the watch. Yes, ma'am. Let's get our podium celebration underway and bring up our third place finisher, Teddy Musella.
Are these turned on? Michelle, are these speakers turned on?
Did the breaker go again?
Is it? Hold on.
Check.
Hold on for 1 second.
Hang on, Teddy. We're trying to get the PA system to work here.
Try it.
Testing. There it is. Thank you very much. Teddy, what a race, huh? You looked like you had Kekai covered for a while there, and then it didn't happen.
Yeah, I just made a mistake going to turn one, didn't block. It's just those two cars had so much more pace than us the whole weekend, so it was just really a battle for me trying to even keep up with them. Yeah, but congrats to Brad. He was just quick as the whole weekend. I was almost untouchable. But I want to thank Borda, my mechanic. He put this car together so many times over the course of this weekend with the sensors problems that we had and the crash I had in quality. He's done a great job, and I want to thank the team, especially him, my father, and all my sponsors for this weekend.
Congratulations on your podium.
Thank you.
Teddy Musella, ladies and gentlemen, finishing third. His sixth podium on the season to go along with 3 wins. Still very much in the frame for the championship battle. Let's bring up our second place finisher. What a tight battle it was for Kekai Hauanio, ladies and gentlemen. I'll ask you the same question. You and Teddy had a pretty nice battle all race long.
Yeah, kept it clean. I think he got out on the curb. I didn't mean to put him there, but it is what it is. Good result for the championship. Extend the lead. So.
Anybody to thank?
Of course, all my sponsors, my grandpa, Anywhere Transport, and Crosslink Kiwi.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kekai Hauanio finishing in second spot and extending his points lead. This is his 5th podium on the season to go along with 4 wins. I cannot remember the last time a single driver swept a weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, Brad Madgman. Young man, you came into this race weekend with no wins. You leave with 3. You got to feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, of course. It's an amazing weekend. Been made a couple mistakes this season, but it's nice to be able to head home with friends and family and tell them that I've been the first person to clean sweep the JS F4 Series.
Anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, Crosslink Kiwi, J&D, NatPat, Kart Class, Paul Mark Masons, everyone that's watching at home. Probably won't be many watching at the moment in the middle of the night. And yeah, everyone that's been following me this weekend and everyone and just who supports me.
Well done. Looking forward to Coda.
Yeah, thank you.
Brad Madgman, ladies and gentlemen, sweeping the weekend. 3 wins in a row. Hankook hats on all of our drivers. It's been a challenging weekend for the tires, and Hankook's been up to the task. As we'll go to Radford Racing School hats for all of our drivers. Thanks to Radford for the Karts to Cars Scholarship, which brings drivers into the F4 Championship, the JS F4 Championship, directly from go-karting, and look forward to more of that continuing for the 2025 season. Ligier Automotive North America, of course, this beautiful chassis has served us so well since the series began back in 2016. Reminder to Andy Scriven, God bless him, we lost him too soon, the designer of this race car. And now Mountoon, of course, providing the engines for us. These Honda-based power plants under Mountoon Care and Feeding, doing a fantastic job for this championship and the Formula Regional Americas Championship as well. All right, before we spray the champagne, we have one more award to make. This is the Omologato Perfectly Timed Move of the race. Omologato awards a watch, and it's voted on by the stewards of the meeting, the people up in race control who overlook it, and they give this award to the driver who's done the best overall job for the course of the weekend. And I'm proud to make this presentation to Harbir Das, ladies and gentlemen. Harbir, congratulations. Let's go for our celebration for the final race of the weekend for Ligier JS F4. Teddy Musella, your third place finisher. Kekai Hauanio, and still the points leader. And a sweep of the weekend for Brad Madgman. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. We got 2 more races to go. Don't go away.
I literally live in racing. So I'm done school, I just graduated. I did online school for, I want to say 4 years. So now I'm also trying to figure out what I want to do for school. If I wanted to go to college, I was thinking about online college, which would be kind of cool. I was thinking about doing lawyer. But it's definitely a lot of work as well as racing, right? Because racing takes so much time. So that's one thing I do kind of like off time at home, but like everything is like racing. I'm like working out every day. And like with this heat, I try to like, you know, kind of do the same thing like at home, like going for runs, playing tennis, pickleball, all this kind of stuff. So it's definitely a lot at home, but it's like the same routine going over and over again every single day. You're always thinking about it. Like even if you go for vacation, you're laying on the beach, you're always thinking about it. You're always like, oh shoot, I forgot to answer the email. Or oh shoot, like I should be at the gym. My favorite like all-time show is The Last Dance with Michael Jordan. He's like